Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Thanks, Ashley.
Now, the huge global demand for precious metals coins has resulted in the new South African platinum coin being an instant success.
Yes, with COVID-19, people are going for coins. They see problems with currencies, and they're going for all precious metal coins. And that was greatly fortunate for our new launch, because we've launched in South Africa our first ever platinum coin. And it's been an absolute sellout in these conditions. In fact, if only we could be able to export more and produce more, I think we would be able to sell every bit, because they say, even though gold coins are going and silver coins are going well, platinum, because of the non-availability, is getting a price premium. So we would have really done well had we gone ahead with this. But it's, hats off to the South African Mint and to the Rand Refinery for, going along with this. And also it's being marketed by a top marketing body. The Kruger Rand has been the most successful coin in the history of the world. And the same company that markets Kruger Rand is now marketing our elephant. And the elephant platinum coin is really the first, because it's going to reflect the big five. So every few months we'll have another platinum coin arising. And it's wonderful that there's been a sellout with the first one. And coins in general have been way above average. I think 300% higher than the normal quarterly average. And going forward, they're looking at over 100% higher than the normal average they're forecasting. So it's a good business to be in at the moment. It would have been wonderful if we had actually been able to mint a lot more of these coins.
And the guidelines for a mandatory code of practice in the mining industry during COVID-19 have been gazetted. Can you just unpack that for us?
Yes, the Gazette has come through fast and furiously, because the Labour Court demanded that they have a gazetting, and that this gazetting could only take place after communities had been consulted. And they've done all that in record time. And they've come through with this gazette, which has largely been accepted by the industry, because virtually 90% of what is in the gazette is already being adopted by the industry, particularly Minerals Council South Africa and its 77 members. They brought out a standard operating procedure called a SOP. And now the government has brought out a code of practice called a COP. But the SOP and the COP largely overlap. So we have a situation there where there is consensus about what must be done. All the details are really agreed upon, except for a few minor things, which I think they need to look at under the Gazette notice of 8.1.1.1, which almost says that if you bring people into an area and they are positive, you've got to quarantine them. You've got to find a place to quarantine them. Now, people are worried that this is going to be like turning into a concentration camp, because if you've got to keep people in large numbers for 14 days and you've got to quarantine them and isolate them, you might not have the premises to do that. And if you're told that those people have got to go into this area, you've got to make sure the area is there. They may not exit. And even if they get ill, they've got to just stay there. It doesn't seem to be something that was really intended. So what the urgings are, and that they look at that carefully, because it seems to be they should acknowledge that the moment they find someone positive like that, that person should be allowed to self-isolate and perhaps go home. But that is not clear in this particular gazette, but I'm sure they'll be able to overcome that.
And lastly, the outbreak of COVID-19 in Limpopo province has resulted in the Marula mine being temporarily suspended.
Yes, this hit us like a brick at the weekend, because we thought really everything was in control. And suddenly this release came out from unpacks that their Marula mine had shown that there was quite a widespread infection in that area. And this is also very important, because it shows you that you can't just screen, you've got to test. And the tests unearthed 19 positive cases out of 280 people. But what was also startling is that 17 of those 19 were from the local area in Limpopo. So that led the next day to a quick meeting. The Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwedi Montash, and the Premier of Limpopo and the top brass of unpacks quickly met in Bella Bella. We saw videos of them. They kept their distance. They had their masks on, but they had to talk about this because it was quite a shock that suddenly you come back, and if you don't test, you can run into serious problems, even if you have screened. So they were saying now, if the people who are working in the mines come from what they call an epicenter or a hotspot, people are saying they should call it a hotspot, that they must really be rigorously tested before they're allowed to go underground. Because of these 19, and they were made up of employees and contractors, had been allowed to go underground, you would have probably had like hundreds of people infected. So the mines have got to be very fastidious of this, and I think that's why the minister just got to Limpopo got the important people around the table to say, wow, you know, we've got to really test rigorously or we could run into a very serious problem. So I'm glad Marula mining has been temporarily suspended. The clinics have been closed, and they are rethinking clearly how they can do this, because we saw an open cast mine yesterday. This was Harmony Gold reported that there were 2 cases. So you can see that they pop up not only for the underground miners, but the open cast miners. And when you think you're well away, these tests can really expose some serious infection.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
Great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.